All right, gang, we are live. So sit down, Tony. Get your chance. Welcome to the world of Hearthron. I'm your host, storyteller, and dungeon master, Bilbo. Tonight, we continue with our series, Tales from the Yawning Portal. This is our first episode of White Plum Mountain. This is one of my favorite adventures ever, and can't wait to share it with all of you. The plan is to play the same characters through each of the adventures in the Yawning Portal, and level up characters accordingly, and finish with the Tomb of Horrors, where I plan to kill them all. Our players have completed the Sunless Citadel, the Forge of Fury, and just finished the Hidden Shrine of Tamoachan last week. You can go out on YouTube on our channel and look and go back and watch all of these episodes. So, come join us as we travel through these old school dungeon crawls. And Zazriel, why don't you give us a recap of last week's finale of the Hidden Shrine of Tamoachan for either a luck card or from Nord Games or an inspiration back.
Okay,
we killed everybody and we left.
Yeah. Well, we killed everybody and we all left.
So we earned a bump there, I guess.
So there goes the bump. Yeah.
We moved up into this tunnel that we had found, me, Elle, and Kit, and we saw a giant hyena. I began to shoot at it. Elle moved up, shot at it, and we took pretty quick work of that as everybody was moving up into the tunnel. And by the end of that, there was a group of these ancient tribe members. What are you doing? Chill out, man. Ancient tribe members, and they were moving in, about 12 of them, and Dar and Torn moved up to engage, while I went full angel mode and started doing what Zaz does best. And then our three companions, Erebus, Elle, and Thorn, saw a crypt, or not a crypt, a tomb, and decided to go check it out, and they realized it was just a bunch of loot, and so they engaged with the battle of us as Zazriel held off the gates of Helm's Deep with his fellow dwarven companion, Dar, and Torn was nowhere to be found. I don't think he engaged at all. I think he was off doing something else. And then after we took that quick work of that group, another group of natives came in, and they thought they were going to kill us, and that wasn't going to happen. And behind them there was two shaman, and they were summoning a bunch of what were they, chimpanzees? Baboons. And those were no match for any of us. And then in came the weird druid bat lady.
The witch.
And she called in a bunch of swarms of bats and two of her bat companions to attack us as she... did she call lightning on somebody? Yeah, she called lightning down on Dar. And then she flew up into the sky, where she probably had nothing she was able to do because she was using the cloak of the bat. So she was sitting up there, and after Zazriel helped finish down all the ground units, she decided to fly up and take on the witch one-on-one, and shot her one time in the left eyeball, and then the next shot went right through the chest, and that was the end of that witch. And as she floated down to the earth, the ground, we all watched her bats fly away. And then we made our way, after we collected all the loot, made our way back to, where are we at?
Baker's
View. And we have now spent a month off doing different things. Zazriel went off and adventured into the wild, taking on some little hordes of goblins and orcs with Erebus, teaching them the ways of using a bow and hunting and tracking. But then eventually got annoyed of teaching Erebus and told him to shoo off and went on for her own for a couple days.
Okay. Perfect. All right. You want
Luck card.
luck card? All right.
You're finally taking it back to the block.
I always take the luck card, dude.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, the only reason I took a dice was because he had 2 luck
You
cards.
can have a third one.
That's why I'm gonna have a third one. I wanted a luck card for that. I mean, a dice for that battle, though.
All right. Hand that to him. Let him read what it is.
1d4 after making a saving throw.
Trash.
I like how you shuffle the deck.
Sorry.
Yeah, like you shuffled it, you shuffled that.
Okay. So our heroes have been back at Baker's View for the last month or so, doing a variety of things, which they've all now received word that Durnan wishes to speak with each of you.
Independently?
No, as a group. You're being called to the Yawning Portal. Zazriel kind of explained what he's been doing along with Erebus. Elle, what have you been doing for the last month?
Well, part of the time she's been serving the people of Baker's View at the Temple of Trevella. She put some effort into procuring goggles of night for Cat so that she would be able to see with us in the dark and not have to carry a torch around or be in animal form just to see in the dark. And she made a few scrolls. Hopefully that will come in handy for the next adventure.
Okay. Kit, what have you been doing, Kit?
Zaz and finding out a little bit more about keeping an eye on her and finding out about a scroll that we found.
No eye needs to be kept on this one.
She preferred to be alone at night, it seemed like. That was a lot of times. So, Kit, what have you been doing over the last month or so?
I've been hanging around and probably drinking the dark.
Alright. Well, actually, that probably is not the case. Unless you... Well, she could, but Dar actually... Well, Dar's actually been, and which would be fine with Kit too, to be honest, has been out in the woods nearby.
Rolling around
Baker's View. Yeah, rolling around some mud and dirt and rubbing his back against the trees. And so, yeah, probably it would make sense that probably Kit would be with Dar a little bit on his little excursion. So, why don't we have this? So, Erebus and Elle and Zazriel have all entered into the Yawning Portal, along with Thorn and Valley. We don't have either of the players tonight. Thorn was a bonehead and forgot his charger when he went up north, so he couldn't log in because his computer's dead. And Valiant is working his one last night selling drugs at CVS. So we should have both of them though back next week, hopefully. And so, Dar, you and Kit enter the Yawning Portal. What do they see? And tell us about what you've been doing out in the woods besides rolling around in the mud and rubbing up against trees.
Well, Dar went out in the woods to perform some rituals, and he searched out and used his ritual powers in the wild to find a den of bears. And part of his initiation rite, according to the lady who was
sorry. He went to find a den of bears and then he said his initiation process and I died.
The initiation with the bears was to learn how to live with them and cohabitate. Unfortunately, one night during this walks in, there are 4 claw marks going from his forehead down across to his nose. He's now wearing an eye patch where there is no more eye.
I thought sex with the devil was rough, and then he would see a bear.
But anyways, so when he comes in, he looks a little quieter, a little more dour, not quite so joyful as he used to be. And he walks up to the bar and he asks.
All right, there you go. So everybody, I'm gonna give you a bump just for having Zazriel just can't contain herself.
I didn't know it would be a bear to tame the dog.
It's pretty good. Well, that's 2 bumps I got.
All right. Okay. So, so after Adar enters, the only one is we haven't seen is Torn. All the rest of you are here in the bar, and you guys haven't really seen him over the last couple of weeks. And Jot, actually about a week ago, and Jot checks in with each of you guys, even though you're separated at times. Usually Jot's been with Erebus and Zazriel for the most part, but he has floated around and found Dar and Kit and thrown insults and so on. But about a week ago, Jot spoke with Erebus and Zazriel, stating that he didn't like the way Torn was smelling and was going to talk to him about his baiting habits. And since then, Jot and Torn have not returned. Durnan states that he sent word for Torn, and none of his guild members can find him. We don't know what he's left the city. Apparently, just talking to some of our members of the guild, and we found out through the city guard that he left about a week ago. So we're going to replace Torn with another. Since you already have one Black Dragonborn in the group, why not add another? And out of the shadows in the corner of the bar, behind the open pit, to Undermountain rises a large figure. Ambra, why don't you describe yourself?
So you guys see he's armed to the T with I forgot which armor he's wearing, but he has four weapons visible, a great axe strapped across his back, a hand axe on one side, a warhammer on the other, and then also a light crossbow on his back too. And he actually makes Dar look like a normal dwarf, even though he isn't, because of how strong he looks. And as you can tell, he is wearing the holy symbol of Cordal. Yeah, he is wearing the holy symbol of Cordal around on a pendant, and that's basically what you see.
All right, and he says this is Ambra, a paladin of Cordal, and he can be he would take the place of Torn for at least this adventure until maybe Torn returns. But I don't think he will. That scepter that you had, our mages discovered that scepter was in sense a receptacle of switching Torn and we believe possibly some demon that you guys may have released down in the shrine. So we believe, even though Torn had all the appearances and his abilities, and had memories of being Torn, inside of Torn, possessed, was a demon. And we believe the only way that Torn could come back is killing that demon and having Torn's body and the demon's body use the scepter as a transformation. Where's Torn's original body?
It's down there.
In the shrine.
Well, so we may have a demon released out somewhere here on Pandea.
Oh, great.
Well, I'll give you more maybe news about that when you return. Anyways, I called you all in here as we have another quest for all of you, and this one pays really well. The guild has been employed to recover 3 magical weapons of great power that have all been stolen by a wizard named Caraptus, who was residing in White Plum Mountain some 1,300 years ago. So I don't understand how he's alive. He left each of the owners a note daring them to come and retrieve their stolen weapons. There is a sword called Black Razor, stolen from a barbarian lord of Koran. A hammer called Whelm, that was in the dwarven vaults of Stonehar. And a trident named Wave, belonging to a sea elf lord of the Mikkel Islands. The note, I'll read the note here for you, goes as such. Search a far or search a near. You'll find no trace of the 3. Unless you follow instructions clear, for the weapons abide with me. North, past forest, farm, and furrow, you must go to the feathered mound. Then down, away from the sun, you'll burrow. Forget life, forget light, forget sound. To rescue Wave, you must do battle with the beast in the boiling bubble. Cross cavern vast, where chain links rattle, lies Whelm, past water spouts double. Black Razor yet remains to be won. Underneath inverted ziggurat that garnered, think not that you're done. For now, you all find you are caught. I care not, former owners, brave, what heroes you seek to hire. Though mighty, I'll make each one my slave, or send him to the fire. Signed, Caraptus. And each one of them got the note.
What is with bad guys and poems?
I don't know.
It wasn't
Other bad guys, poems.
a era back then. That's the way they talked.
Each of these lords, say if you recover their items for them, he'll give you whatever they can in their power that you wish to have. Whether that be gold or some magic or some granted power or something, which is whatever items you recover, all 3 of them said that. They're paying us the guild money as well, their gold. But whatever your asking price for these 3 weapons recovery, they'll pay it.
Holy shit. Alright. We're gonna get paid, guys.
What our plan is just as when you went to the shrine, here we will once again teleport your group to a village called Ringland. It's about 12 miles to the south, to the southwest of White Plum Mountain. And from there, you can launch and use that as your base of operations.
Is there any time constraint about getting right on this?
Well, I mean, we would like you to get on this because then we get paid sooner than later. From what I understand, these items were all stolen a few weeks ago, and they sent us word through couriers.
Do we know if there are others that are seeking these same items?
That's a possibility, but not in our guild. But there definitely could be these employers of ours. If we hesitate or take too long, it wouldn't be surprising if they hired another group to go in there, or one of these.
Be able to bring our horses.
I will not be able to teleport. However, this here where we're teleporting you to this village, it's a village of trappers and hunters. I'm sure you could buy horses or rent horses there.
Wait.
How long has it been then since I've talked to Jot?
It's been a week since the last time you talked with John.
Has that been a while, from my experience, as long as he's been gone?
I mean, usually it's, over this last month, I mean, he's kind of hung out with Dar and Kid a couple days or whatever, mainly with you guys, but yeah, it's kind of rare. You don't think your link is, in a sense, like, you don't think he's dead. So you don't feel like that, like he's still alive, and he's probably somewhere still close by, but out of any range of being able to communicate with you.
Dark vision goggles would be useful for me.
He's alive.
Yeah. Yep. He is alive.
I just realized that Alex's new character now needs the goggles as well.
So we're back to square one with vision.
Dark vision. Did I get an ale before we
You
leave?
couldn't find somebody that uses maybe a tiefling?
I loved when I saw that item on the day. I was like, that's gonna be funny. So yes. So you guys
Needs an ale before we leave.
So you guys unleashed a demon lord into Pandaea. Maybe that will come up somewhere else. Repercussions.
Worse yet, our compatriot's body is still sitting there with no hands. Really let out.
But not time to.
All right.
I missed the answer to the goggle question, sorry.
Oh, what was the question?
Did Ellen
I
make
realized.
them?
Oh
I got your point.
no! I basically said you guys had to purchase them.
Okay.
So it would be another 1,000 gold pieces to purchase another set.
They're available.
Yeah, I'll say they're available.
The group has 600. Someone want to come up with the other 4? Maybe you, big guy?
I didn't gain that much money from my last employers. Well, that I think.
No, you got what you have, buddy.
I suppose you could use Torrance shares
Oh yeah, we do have Torrance money. No, we probably gave it to him already.
Yeah, we probably definitely gave it to him when we got back. And then,
We would have said that. That doesn't make any sense. Alright. Someone want to throw in the remaining 4?
we'll see how useful he is. I'll throw in 400 for now. You better pay me back, though, Dragonborn. Do I have your word on that, Paladin?
Yes. You
Okay. That is
And
what
don't
that
know
is what
how
you
it-
are, right?
Durnan does, and Durnan says you are.
Okay.
So Durnan knows what you are.
But,
He said that.
he did it.
I am no longer alone, I say in Draconic.
Did you hear her?
I am no longer alone,
Yes,
Dragonborn.
okay,
I couldn't hear.
She said she's no longer alone in Draconic too.
I'm gonna whisper to Zaz and El that I gotta go find Jot.
Wait, what is
All
that?
right,
I don't know what that means.
let's wait 2 days then. We'll go out in 2 days.
Okay, no
If
problem.
you're a Dragonborn, you automatically know Draconic.
Yeah, I know Draconic. I'm just like, I don't know what you're meaning when you said that.
I was the only one that speaks dragon.
No, but I don't like understand what you said. Like I'm no longer alone.
I'll come with you, Erebus.
Thank
I'm
you,
no longer
Zaz.
the only Dragonborn on the team.
Oh.
El, are you gonna do some research on this wizard and White Plum Mountain before we go?
Research, I can spread some word and see if there's any mention of who this. I mean, it seems very strange to set this up and sort of invite strangers, but see what I can find.
All right. So why don't Erebus, you give me an investigation at advantage since Zazriel's helping you out, and Al, give me an investigation roll to determine what you find out about Corruptus.
You want me to roll investigation, Erebus?
And she'll also be utilizing sort of. She'll get in touch with the seedier side of the city as part of that, since that's.
Okay.
It was one of her good skills. Yeah.
And I'm back.
Yeah, a 16's.
Okay, perfect. I'll give you some information here in a minute. And then Erebus, if you hear, if you want, you can roll
Sorry.
investigation at advantage with Zazriel's help. And Zazriel offered to make the roll if you think Zazriel's better than you at this.
It might be. Yeah, give me 1 second.
Okay.
Pull up my sheet. Sorry, just switch networks. We'll see if this is any better.
Sounds better already.
Okay, good. I'm on my phone now, but you know that's how it goes, right? Investigate, not survive. I'm 3 on investigate.
I'm 5. I got you.
Yeah, you're up then.
Yeah, 20.
Okay. So what you find out, just talking to some others in the guild and such in the city guard, because of Torn being a half-orc wandering around, even though there's some half-orcs, but just because you guys got a little faint.
Yeah, not a lot of half-orcs with full plate on them.
Yeah, exactly, wandering around, an older veteran-like. And you find out that he actually spent quite a bit of time in the library here in the city, once you're at the library, you find out that he was really spending a lot of time trying to learn the different lands of Hearthron and cities and such, and so he seemed to be in the books a lot, which you find very odd for Torn.
Yeah.
Of course.
Usual thing.
Torn could read?
You also find out, that he. No, was it 20? Yeah. You do also find out that he, with some of his gold, and talking to some of the same people you deal with in the sense the wizards and such, that he purchased a small cage with a magical lock on it. Shit. And talking to this city guard, sure enough, you'll find out that Torn left 3 days ago.
With the box.
He said it was covered, and whenever somebody was shaking and yelling insults and saying to let me out of the cage, and
Oh, Oh no, he got John.
And he just said it was his pet parrot.
Erebus, I guess we gotta go free your bird.
But that's what you'll get. I'll take about a day and a half or so to get all that information, kind of going around finding people to talk to and find out and kind of trail, find the trail, and yeah, you'll end up talking to a city guard that saw him walking out the city with something underneath a cage, which he just thought was probably a bird cage.
Let's go get the group, we'll get the horses, and we'll go after him. Sound like a plan to Lucas?
And he was walking.
Yes, he walked out the city. Walked out the city.
We can probably catch him if we're on horseback with all our horses.
I left a week. Well, he left a week ago.
Couple
Like
days.
3 days ago.
3 days.
3 days.
And then so for L, what you're going to find out, there's not a lot of information about this Charybdis, other than he was apparently some sort of a lord actually a landlord on Mandor, and that he made his way. He actually was shunned, and he had to flee. He did a lot with monsters. He actually cleansed the area of monsters where he was at in Mandor. However, he started taxing his people very high, and they didn't mind at first because it was clearing the area of monsters and such, the humanoids and stuff. So they didn't mind it. However, of course, once the problem's gone, they were still being taxed very high, and they didn't feel like that was fair any longer. And the townspeople complained, and it ended up to other landlords, and it ended up being a war, and he had to flee. And from what it's understanding is he took refuge in White Plum Mountain, and there was an old Druidic cult that apparently within the mountain itself, the lava itself or something, there's magical properties in that mountain that somehow gives you the ability, almost like a fountain of youth, except it's lava of youth. And that's what is believed. But this was around like 1,300 years ago. So, and the story of him being a warlord is more like probably 2,000 years ago. So, as far as anybody knows here, the scholars here, they just know of stories. They haven't. There's nothing been known of this Charybdis for 1,300 years. So it's kind of odd that all of a sudden his name appears on these letters, and 3 powerful magical weapons are stolen on 3 different continents and are brought here, of all places, Pangaea, to White Plum Mountain, where this wizard once resided. In the sense of White Plum Mountain, what they can tell you is the area is a very first off, the mountain itself is a volcano, and it's still an active volcano. The area around it is very there's a lot of sulfur in the air as well as in the water near there. There's a swamp called the Great Swamp. That's on the north side of the mountain. There is the Knoll Hills, as well as the Twisted Thickets that are on the south side of the mountain. There's a river called the Yellow Flow River that's also right goes right by the mountain, and don't drink the water. They'll tell you it has sulfur properties in it. They also will tell you that even north in the Great Swamp, and north of the Great Swamp, there is a dead dragon, and her name is Dragathra.
A dead dragon?
A dead dragon. And that she roams the swamps.
Or an undead dragon.
Well, they say dead, but... And that she roams the swamps in the northern part of the swamps. And they also say there's a witch named Thingizar. And be careful of her, because it's believed that she's old. She's been around here longer than Corruptus has, and she roams the swamps.
Okay.
So
That's what we're
that's what they tell you.
in that area of the world. We're gonna know that.
So yeah, you may want to stay clear of the swamps. She deals. She mainly deals. You'll find this through your because of your contacts in the in the thieves guild here and stuff. That she mainly deals with potions, poisons. So if there's one person to buy, if you want somebody to die from a poison or whatever, she's been known to sell it. But she's crazy. They say she's hard to deal with. Crazy witch. So depending if you get her on a good day or a bad day, you could actually do a transaction with her on a good day. On a bad day, she could turn you into a lizard.
I don't know. It's better than something like that.
So that's kind of what you'll learn.
All right. Good to know.
All right. So you guys gather your horses and stuff.
And we have our continue now.
This is 2 days later. Go ahead and give me a survival.
I'll work together there if you want.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'll get it regardless.
Plus 5.
There's my sheet.
Okay. Yeah, so you will, you actually, believe it or not, because he's heavy plate mail armor, wandering around. So you actually will get on his tracks and follow him. However, after probably about a half a day out in the woods, you actually find underneath some brush the plate mail armor. And then you find tracks leading back.
I put the plate mail on
On your horse. Yeah. Okay. And the tracks lead back another kind of trail, but you do find it with that roll, and lead back into the city, but over a wall, not through one of the entrances into the city.
Alright, I'll go around, come back to where I think it is, and I try to just keep following the track.
Alright, go ahead and make another roll here.
With advantage?
22.
Okay, perfect. So you actually, believe it or not, you just seem to be able to follow maybe some mud footprints for a while. They lead down to the lower level of to the dock level.
Are you still trying to reach John?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, Bill, right? I'm trying
Yes.
to eventually reach John. I mean, I guess it goes without saying, but yes.
And so you believe that probably got on a ship here.
We're gonna ask around at the dock. I mean, John would have been making noise unless he got knocked out, so that would be fairly obvious.
Yeah, go ahead and give me an investigation at advantage again with both of you.
I think you still got me on that, Billy. Go ahead.
23.
All right, yeah. So you find out that this half orc with the bird, the bird that's just calling out all sorts of insults, got onto a ship a day ago called the Wandering Whale, and it is heading for Mandor.
Brutal. I don't like a demon wandering this world.
Do they know anything about the Wandering Whale?
It's just it was a trading vessel. It's just a trading ship. The captain is Captain Faid Entel.
Is there a way to tell him to come back?
Yeah, can the guild do a sending to him? We'll go back to the guild. Obviously, looks like this is a dead end at the dock.
Yeah, the guild doesn't know the captain. They could send word to the port where he's going to land in Mandor.
Please do that.
So they could send word for that.
Tell him to take his cage away. I don't know about engaging him.
Okay, but try to
Take the cage away.
I mean, they know he's a demon, right?
Yes, yeah, the guild knows. Yeah, that now they know that they discovered that without you guys. You guys didn't know.
Yeah.
They discovered with the scepter. However, they really just discovered this, really right when you guys kind of discover it.
Did they maintain the scepter? We still have it, or they have it?
Yes, you have it. Yeah, well, they have it in their possession, but they'll give it to you. They would have given it to Jernan would have given it back to you guys, saying that you need Torn's body and kill the demon and have to have each end touching one another to bring back Torn.
And they can both be dead, or the demon could be dead when we do it, or does
You actually have. They tell you actually have to kill the demon.
Okay.
And once you kill the demon, you have both of their bodies touching, and then Torn will be released back into Torn.
Okay, so what happens if Torn's missing his hands?
Just one hand.
Just one hand.
Just hands.
He'll adapt. He can figure out how to use the other.
I thought I cut them both off.
They will state that they will. Well, you guys are doing this for them at White Plum Mountain. They will go ahead and recover Torn's body. They'll send another group where they evacuated you guys from, and have an evacuation group or excavation group. Sorry. Excavation group go down at the back part where they got you guys and dig down there and find Torn.
So, what other options do we have about catching this?
Do we really care?
Yes.
Yes. How long of a boat trip is it to Mandor? Good question.
Oh, it's a couple weeks.
Oh.
And if the port that he's heading to doesn't change, how far away is that?
The port is a couple weeks away.
Right, but a couple weeks by ship.
Yes.
So, Could that be arrived at via teleport?
Yes, that could happen.
And it's unlikely he would reach there early.
We wouldn't have any reason why. I mean, unless your demon can teleport.
In which case, why is he on a boat?
Exactly.
Is there a way to track him?
Like a demon scope, or what do you mean?
There's some spell that can be used to find out where he is.
Not that long range.
Yeah, if they've gone on a ship for a day now, no, we're not going to be able to track him.
Will the demon be restricted in its powers while he's in Torn's body, or do you guys think it will grow in power over time?
Yeah, talking to the sages and such, you think, that he probably, besides Torn's abilities and powers, that as time goes on, he will probably start gaining some of his powers, or whatever they may be. He may have some demon-like abilities as time goes on. The longer he spends in Torn's body, the more and more he'll get his own powers.
We can't kill him until we've gotten Torn's body, right?
That's
No, we
correct.
can't.
Yeah, we could.
No, they will tell you it has to be done at the same time.
Oh, he has to be killed at the same time.
Yeah, because demons, they don't usually stay that long in the material plane. If you kill him, more than likely he'll just return to the abyss. But if
So
you
we
react,
get the body, we gotta go and finish this job and get these things, get some money, use that money, so we can get over to find the demon, get it, capture it, and bring it back.
that is correct. This is very important for the guild.
Not, I don't think.
Can I don't even know if I know that. Let me make a roll. Well, I don't know. Alright. Roll for shit.
But if you recover the items for us, and we'll get the body of Torn, we'll teleport you to the port city in Mandor where the ship's going.
Perfect.
Well, do we think it would be better that Jock knows that we know, or not?
Can we tell him somehow? I can't reach him.
Do ascending.
To John?
Should be able to.
Can I work with one of your casters? Is that possible? Who are we talking to, Garnet?
No, this would be one of the sages in the guild.
Okay.
In that sense, Durnan doesn't know anything about stuff like this. So this will be the sage that discovered how the item works, the scepter works.
So
We didn't notice it.
let me ask you one more question. In order to bring Torn back, we have to have them together, right?
Yes, we have to have both bodies. We have to have Torn, and you have to kill the demon, and then have both bodies touch, and then Torn will be Torn's essence will come back into Torn. What was that?
So what happens if we kill the demon but we don't have Torn?
The demon will go back to the abyss.
Which is where it belongs anyways, right?
Yes.
Where are you going with this, Dar?
Oh, we gotta do something.
That's not Aaron's last thing.
Well,
Noted.
I think the question he's trying to ask is like, will we still be able to get whoever this Torn is back?
Well, they're gonna get the body.
If you don't have, yes, we will recover Torn's body for you. Will you take care of this for us recover these 3 items for us at White Plum Mountain.
All right.
We'll recover Torn's body for you.
Well,
But you need Torn's body, you need the demon and the scepter all in the same place. Once you kill the demon, the Torn will come back into Torn's essence, will come back into his body instead of the demon's body.
can you make sure they grab his stone hand too?
Yes.
Everything will get back together.
I think that answers everything.
That might be the optimal thing, but we can still kill a demon even if we didn't have Torn's body.
Yes, that
Yes,
is a correct thing.
absolutely. You could do that. You do not need Torn's body to kill a demon.
As they stated,
But if you want Torn to be returned to you,
I'm not saying that we're going to do that. I'm saying in a last-ditch effort, if it came down to it, the only way we could survive was to kill it on the spot. We could do it.
yes, of
We
course.
don't have to try and capture this bitch alive. It's too rough.
No, that's not. No. Yep, you're correct. But it's 2 weeks away or 3 weeks away from Mandor. Let's go on this mission, and when we come back, hopefully the city of Mandor has captured them, Mandor has captured them in the port city, and we will go handle that business over there.
Sage, what say you? Can I send a message to my friend?
if
I just- Okay. Sorry, Momo.
I'm not sure you should. He's not very insightful.
I won't tell him anything useful.
Shots already probably saying, my friends are going to come for you. You
They're gonna
better
kill you.
I'm gonna line up a start the whole time.
Yep.
I got an angel coming for you.
An angel. Did you see her? She's an angel.
I'm not a bird. Why do you keep calling me a bird?
I'm not your slave. I'm not your slave.
Bird. I'll bird on you.
All I could think of is Jot saying that and then shitting on the demon.
Exactly.
No, shitting on Torn. It's Torn.
Yeah. I want a cracker.
That's exactly what I'm asking when I see her. All I want a cracker.
All right, so I'm going to say this. I'm going to say this, Erebus. So what you're going to have to do is give me an intelligence roll on how well you explain to the sage to be familiar enough for him to do a sending to Jot.
Okay, I like it. Go ahead, Alex. Give me a roll. I'm +0. I'm a rogue. Come on now, guys.
And 11 on the die roll.
All right, so an 11. All right, so I'm going to give a little bit here. We'll see if it works. Yeah, so go ahead and so Erebus, you can, if you want to do this later, you can just write down, or you can tell me now. You may want to think it, yeah. But yeah, we'll be able to get a sending to John.
Excellent. All right, I feel better. Let's hit the mountain, guys. Sorry about that. Thank you. I want to give you time to respond, Bill. So I want to hear all the swear words you can fit into 25 characters. 25 words.
Jot's
Better put it in the group chat.
Jot's not a happy camper.
I know.
Dick captured
Do
you.
what Jot says.
As the dungeon master, just so you know, I really wish that either Zazriel or Erebus would have entered the room first, and not Torn. Just in the sense of
Because you would have played it out for a while.
played it out, but Torn, it's tough for the little guy to play out
Demon.
a demon, basically, because I was told him, I'm like, he's gonna want to kill Jot, or that, and since I basically enslaved
Kill
him.
Jot or kill
Now he's
Zazriel.
basically he's got him as a pet. He's basically took Jot as a pet right now, as a slave pet. So
I love it.
yeah,
That's so funny. That's so funny.
but yeah, so
We all had our own little Jot.
Thorin Demon's only job was to act kind of like a dumb fighter, so it was perfect.
and the other thing is I gave Alex the option because understanding him playing a demon. One, he wouldn't level up as Torn anymore. He would be staying at where he's at. He'd be getting some demonic powers as the game went on. But and so that's why I gave an option. And he said Umbra has been wanting to play Umbra. I didn't want to tell you that part.
Did
you create Umbra after I joined?
No, Umbra was actually his first
Wow,
character made in 5e when we play tested. Or no, not the first one, the second one.
The first one was
I thought it was the
No,
first
it
one.
wasn't. Was not the first one. Flamesword was first.
Flamesword was already a 3.5.
No, it was 3.5. Remember when first
said
time
first time
when we piloted 5?
No, it was Vander. Vander was my first one.
Yeah, there we go.
Okay.
Vander.
Well, anyways, he's been asking to play Umbra every dang campaign or everything that I have. So it's like, well,
Every time you let him talk, yeah.
yeah, Umbra. So here's perfect chance for him to play Umbra. So, all right. So what do you?
Here's some full play.
It was a magical blood.
So now I think you'll agree with 1900.
Oh, yeah. I will you for
All right, Paladin. 1900. Sounds good.
No, it's not how that.
Yes, it is, Paladin.
Then not keep armor I have.
We'll talk details later. Let's go. It's quiet,
Wait,
please.
can I see the...
It's 18.
No, but like 18.
Nothing.
Then now...
Look, I'm tired and sore. I'm gonna get on the road. Let's get on the road.
All right. So you all ready?
I'll go to L. Do we learn anything from our prep? Did we do anything special?
Have a 19.
Well,
19 something.
it's a rather unpleasant place that we're heading into. I don't really know if I would call it a sleep, but who knows.
Yeah, the place you're going, they'll tell you this. It's a village. It's called Ringland, and it's a hunter-trapper village. It's about a day away from White Plum Mountain, but it's a fortified village. From talking with some of your thieves, the thieves gang and stuff like that, the thieves guild here, you will find that even though it's very rugged village, the people that live there are rather hardy and tough, but they are accepting of people. They say that even bandits are allowed in the village as long as they're not keeping the peace. As long as they're keeping the peace, they're pretty open about letting you in. And they do say that they're very handy at keeping the peace as well. That the villagers themselves, a lot of them can handle swords and bows very well. So if the bandit group did come in there and gets unruly, they can take care of those bandits. So be warned. Don't take the villagers for granted that you're going to push them over.
Good to know.
Gonna recruit some villagers.
Those are our backup characters.
Well, definitely. Well, I'm going to drop 10, 15 gold
Okay.
during that time of asking about this area, just to make sure that type of information keeps coming in the future.
Sure. Okay. Perfect.
And okay. And how far away is it if we were to travel by horse?
Oh, by horse yourselves. Okay, got the map here. Probably about 6 days. Probably about 5 days by horse to get to Ringland, and then of course another day from Ringland to White Plum. So yeah, if you guys decide to travel by horse yourselves, you definitely could. What you would do is you would end up traveling down to like Oakhurst, and then from Oakhurst, make your way through the hills, the Dead Knoll Hills, to White Plum Mountain.
Okay, so 6 days to the village?
5 days to the village, and then from the village to White Plume, it's about a day. They'll tell you that the land, I mean, really once, because you're on a road, you can be on a road from Bakersview to Oakhurst, but then from Oakhurst to White Plume, there is they would say there is a road to Ringland, but it's not a great road. But you could just stay on the road, so you guys could at least stay on a road. You wouldn't get lost. And yeah, Zazrael would help, but you wouldn't get lost.
So you want to travel by horseback there?
No, I just wanted to know where this place is in case our ability to call for magical transportation is somehow not available. I want to know, is it 30 days away?
No, it's Ringland's 5 days away by horse. So, and Ringland to White Plume is a day.
We'll see if they can, if at some point we can get a bit of a map showing where that is and where some of the other places we've already been lie. That would be helpful for our group in general.
Okay. Yeah.
Right out in the wilds and need to find our way back home.
Yeah. Just remind me. I can scan the map for you guys or whatever. So I have it myself, of course, looking at it. So it's right here, but of course you can't see it on this.
All right.
It's all white.
You mentioned the druidic cult, Dan, or the dragon?
Yeah. Well, I'm definitely going to go down the list.
Is there anything else that we missed? Active volcano, undead dragon.
The stolen weapons, assuming they're somewhere inside the volcano.
Is there anything about the weapons that we should be concerned about if we wanted to use them while we were journeying out or journeying through the middle?
Durnan says he probably figure there's no reason why he wouldn't think that you guys couldn't use any of the weapons to help you recover all of them. So he would say go ahead and use them. I mean, from what I understand, they're very powerful. All three of them are very powerful items. But I don't know much about them other than that the owners of these three items basically said the sky's the limit in the sense of if you recover it for them. Each one of them have said this.
All right. Any more questions? I'm ready to get on the road.
No, let's go.
All right.
Teleport us.
All right. So they'll teleport you right outside the village of Ringland, and when you show up there, and we would say this is probably midday when you guys show up. You peer outside. It's a 10-foot tall log palisade surrounds the main settlement. Outside the walls, you see sheep and goats. Other livestock seem to graze freely around their little palisade here. There's Dar. You can actually tell there's actually stonework reinforcing sections of this palisade, including the two guard towers as you all approach. You see you think there's probably 5 guards seem to be tending the main gate as you guys approach the entrance here of the cave. Or not cave, sorry, palisade. And so yeah, you smell. You don't actually smell any sulfur in this area, so you don't. It's just normal. You smell the sheep and the goats. It smells like farmland. Really, where you're at. And you do see some farms off to the off the road here as you guys are approaching here from the southwest of this village. But yeah, it looks fortified, and they just seem to be kind of tending their own. You might see a sheep herder look at you, but don't say nothing. And you guys approach the main, or well, this is one of the openings here. There's two towers, just guard towers, and there's in each tower you see the human wearing like studded leather crossbows, and then one station in front of the road, just kind of off the side of the road. And you see, a couple farmers or people, villagers, seem to probably in and out as you guys see this. And then the wizard that brought you guys here, he'll teleport back and leave you guys here. What do you do?
Let's go find a stable.
All right, so you approach, and there's the guard here, the village guard will say, "Hello there. What is your business here?"
You see that volcano there? White Plum?
Oh, you mean over there, and you can actually, from where you guys are at, believe it or not, even though it's miles away, you see the tip, and you actually see this white kind of smoke coming from the very tip. It's probably about the only part you can, just because you're so far and where you're at coming into the village here. The village is kind of up on a small hill, not a big hill, but up just enough defensible that if humanoids were charging up on it, they would have the advantage.
Yeah.
Oh, what a beautiful mountain.
But yeah, you see this white kind of smoke, just the tip of the mountain.
We're gonna go.
You think, Zasriel, you think it's probably in Erebus, you've been learning this in the sense distance ranges wise. You probably think it's probably about 13, 14 miles away.
We're gonna go have some fun up there. Can you tell us anything about it?
Well, have at it. There's a lot of monsters. So, we have some trappers here and there that they'll go near it or whatever. But there's a lot of monsters that kind of roam around it. There's a lot of because of the hills here. There's a lot of gnolls that also live in the thicket here. There's a dead knoll's eye socket, kind of a little cave. That's actually your best approach to White Plum Mountain. But you never know what could be residing in the cave time to time. Could be bandits, could be gnolls and ogres, or it's could be empty, for that matter. But from what I've heard around the mountain, I've never gone there myself, but stories I've heard, there's gnolls. I've also heard of stories like undead, like ghouls. I even heard one time some large flesh creature. I don't know if it's a giant or an ogre, but some just giant, maybe a hill giant. That's kind of what I've heard.
Nice.
So a lot of us, the just regular villagers here, we don't go that. That's not my job to go near there. Maybe if you go to the inn, maybe talk to some of the hunters, or maybe even talk to the Hunters Guild here. They might be able to tell you a little bit more.
Has it been active in a while? Like, is it supposed to erupt anytime soon? Do you know anything about that?
I don't know the timing of that. The last time that it's truly had any volcanic activity where it's like really flown out of there, probably about 5 years ago. However, geysers, as you see the smoke, it's a geyser, so that lets off all the time. So, yeah, that geyser's always going off. I haven't never tried to time it or anything like that. Yeah, that thing's always blowing smoke.
Do you know a good place to rent some horses?
Yeah, we have there's only one place. So, if you talk to, sorry. If you talk to Mathra Silverwinds, she has stables here.
Perfect. Does she have a mule?
I'm sure she does. She has mules, horses. You would want to talk to her.
Alright. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Turns on the heel and heads towards the stables.
Thank you for your information.
Okay.
Kit runs after.
Maybe I'll bring you back a hill giant's teeth or his head.
All right. So as you guys go in, there's only a few buildings in here. One you can tell is you can see looks like probably a barracks, probably for the village guard. There's an inn. It's called the Ringland Inn. You see that. You also see a sign off where it says the Hunters Guild, and then you see Silverwind's stable. You also see Blade Bro Goods and Rainbeard Smithy. So those are the different kind of businesses that you see in here, and a small church, but it doesn't have any in the sense of indications of any religion to what it might.
Non-denominational.
Exactly. That's what it at least looks like. All right.
I'll go to Miss Silverwinds.
All right. So. Tending, it's midday, so you see in just rather large stable within the palisade itself here. Horses in the stable, a couple of mules kind of tied off, and you see this elven woman, white-haired elven woman, probably. In the sense that if you look human years, probably in her 40s. Once again, an elven holds that elven beauty to her, and you see her kind of tending to the horses, and she looks up at your odd bunch of group and kind of nods her head. And how may I help you?
Hi, Miss Silverwind. We are a group of adventurers going to that great volcano up there.
The mountain.
Yep. And we were looking to get there a little faster than normal, and we'd love to rent some horses out. And if we happen to not bring a few back, I will make sure to compensate you for them dying.
Well, I can arrange that for you. What I would prefer is that you down payment on the horses for them not to return. And if they return, then I will charge you just rent. And so I would charge, what are you looking for?
Just some riding horses.
Just riding horses, that's
Yeah.
it? So I will, yes.
And
Rent straight over to the biggest mule over there, pats it on the rump. What a fine looking specimen. This one looks like Lucky too. How much?
So
And Emil, I forgot we had a dwarf. I'm sorry.
It's gonna be unlucky tonight with that guy.
so she says for the mule it would be 1 silver piece a day, but 8 gold pieces down payment. And then for the riding horses, 1 gold piece per day. However,
75.
However, 75 gold pieces per each one is down.
And there's 6 of us, and Dar's has the meal, I'm guessing, with 8 gold. Can you cover that?
Dar's already reached into his bag of holding and pulled Lucky's saddle out and started to put it on the mule.
Alright. He has that. What? There's 6
of us
people.
and that plus the-
I got it, man. I got it, dog.
I'm tired of walking.
Alright, here's the other 6, 7, 3. Alright, here's the money. I got you.
All right. Okay. So make sure you write that down. So it's one gold piece per day for the light riding, and 1 silver for the mule. Okay, it's 8 gold piece down payment for the mule and 75.
Dar's got a hold of the bridle and he's trying to pull the mule. Come on, number 2, let's go.
So she'll open the gate and she'll help get them all dressed and ready for you. Are you leaving tonight or this afternoon, or are you leaving tomorrow?
I think we're going to leave tomorrow morning.
Okay, then I'll have them ready for you. I'll have them all saddled up for you tomorrow.
I'll pick the biggest steed because I'm like the
No beast.
yeah, I'm the beast.
I'm just gonna mention to the group. I have never ridden a horse.
Well, here's your lucky day.
Yeah,
Just whisper it in its ear, lass. Tell it that it's okay and that you're a friend. It'll understand.
I know you just got your...
Dar climbs up on the mule and gives it a heel in the sides. Yeah, mule!
It knocks him off.
Well, we'll walk to the tavern. Hopefully you make it there in time.
Alright, so you guys are walking over to the inn with Dar
We're not walking, we're
mule.
waiting for Dar at the inn to get over here.
I just want to see the mule launch Dar off its back.
No, actually, the mule's rather tame and actually will follow the group, and Dar can lead it over to the inn.
I know Dragonborns tame their animals differently, but elves...
But Silverwinds will say, sir, what, I don't want what is your dwarven's friend's name?
Dar.
Dar?
Yeah.
If you guys are leaving tomorrow, it's fine if you want to ride him around right now for a while, but if, please, when you're done, can you bring him back here to stable him for the night?
Okay. We'll be back later.
Okay.
There are bandits out here.
No, my new friend here. We're gonna be companions on this here journey.
Enjoy.
Alright. So, you head on over to the inn?
Yep.
Okay.
Investigation. Who's the
Well, while they're going to the inn,
baddest
Dar's
hunter
gonna
out
take number 2 on a little ride down the street, back up the street, turning around, and all kinds of fun stuff just to try and get used to riding number 2 and getting used to him.
Sure. So you're just riding around the palisade inside. Maybe you take it outside the palisade and go once around and such. No problem.
And I'm sure that the mule probably will stop and get stubborn at some point. So Dar's going to reach into his bag and he's going to pull out this big long stick with a string and a carrot on it. And he'll just dangle the carrot out in front of the mule as he's riding it to keep it moving forward.
All right.
wow, Dar.
And when he wants it to stop, he'll pull the carrot back in and tuck it under his arm so the mule can't see it.
All right.
Your arms aren't that big. The carrot's probably
As I walk in the tavern,
Alright.
I'll walk with the Dragonborn in. Who thinks they can challenge? Who's the bravest hunter to challenge my friend to an arm wrestle? And as I'm saying that, I'm looking for the guy that doesn't react really.
All right. So yeah. So one guy looks up and I'll take him on.
Alright, go do that.
Human, kind of rather large human, kind of big arms. Looks like maybe probably a farmhand. Has reddish, red hair with a red beard. Probably in his late 20s, human. He says, "I'll take him on and make a perception check. You're looking for somebody else that kind of ignores it, or
Yeah,
maybe
exactly. It doesn't mind it at all. Doesn't
Okay.
care for it. It's gonna be a 15.
All right. So you do see another human off at a table by himself in leather armor. Blackish brown leather armor, has a sword, long sword to his side. Blackish, kind of blackish messy hair a little bit. It's a little unkept, but it's more unkept maybe on purpose. But he's clean. Has a 5 o'clock shadow.
So like the son of Gondor.
And he kind no. He kind of has a slight grin on his face, as you say. He just looks out of his eyes and just kind of shakes his head a little bit, kind of grins, and just goes back to his cup of whatever he happens to be drinking.
I'll go to the barkeep and ask for what is that guy drinking, and then I'll grab a glass of wine.
So yeah, he says, "Oh, that's Sand and a Grin. He's drinking rum."
All right, can I get a cup of that and some wine?
Sure. Yeah. So be for 2 silver pieces.
Let's do this arm wrestle. Let's roll. Right.
And then I'll go over there and talk to him.
All right. So you're going over there. So he's like, "All right, you take it easy on you right there. What? You're a dragonborn, right?
Yes.
Black dragon. Aren't you guys like normally evil?"
That is only some dragon.
I mean, isn't it like the colors? Like, I mean, there's like this. There's, I've heard stories of like this black dragon living out in the swamps, and from what I understand, that's an evil bastard.
Well, that
Are
is
you
not,
an evil bastard? You're not
No,
gonna like
I'm not
breathe on me if I beat you in arm wrestle, are you?
I'm not.
Or you're not gonna eat my arm if I lose. You're not gonna tear it off. This is just an arm wrestle,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Okay. If I beat you, there's no fighting, right?
Neither if I beat you.
Well, I hope not. All right. All right. Yeah, let's go for it. All right.
Some people cannot know their lineage of dragons.
A 22.
All right. So yeah, you beat him.
I-
Bro, you are strong. Good. Nice. What are you doing here?
We are about to head to White Plum.
Whoa. You gonna fight monsters?
We have a
Yes.
mission to recover.
Slow, yes, man.
I'm tired. Like,
Cool. All right. So you sit down, you bring the cup, and
I'll slam it down. Hi, Stan Grin.
do I know you?
No, you do not know me. The bartender told me your name. I always find it polite to know somebody's name before I introduce myself.
Yeah. Okay. You know my name. What's your name?
My name is Zaz.
Hi, Zaz.
I'm the great demon hunter.
Demon Hunter.
Yeah.
Okay.
You look like a fine young hunter. Is he young looking? Or?
Yeah, he's actually, probably maybe early 20s, 21, 22 years old.
You look like you've also seen out in the wild and by White Plum Mountain. Have you been adventured by there?
Yeah, I've been out near that area.
What have you come across?
Well, I mean, there's a lot of gnolls out there. I've had my dealings with some gnolls out there. and such.
Anything bigger? I don't care for puny gnolls. That's very easy.
Yeah, I mean, there's a group of ogre hunters out there. I fled from them. Got shot once in the arm. That's stung pretty bad. Stung for like a week after taking.
Ogres with bows.
Yeah.
That's new.
Yeah, tell me about it. They're really good with them too. There's 4 of them.
Okay.
If you're going out there, be wary of them.
Maybe we can take.
They hunt at night.
Maybe we can take them out free.
So yeah, be wary of them. They're night hunters.
You point to me like we can take them out.
Any giants or dragons around the mountain?
Well, there's stories of this undead dragon that lives north in the Great Swamp.
Do I have to pass by that swamp to get to
No. It's on the other side. It's on the northern side of White Plum. So, but yeah, I mean, so I've heard stories. There's some black dragon living in a swamp. I think a younger dragon, but from the stories of this, yeah, I think her name is Dragatha. But I've never seen her, and I don't think anybody here in this village I don't think she's ever come out. It's just, the stories that she lives out there. There's also some witch lives out there too, in the swamps.
What's the witch's name?
Her name is Thing Izard.
And does she have a little bit of minions, I'd say?
I don't know. I know she wanders the swamps. Apparently she deals in potions and elixirs and such, but from what I understand, she's crazy.
Most witches are.
Yeah, I don't want to deal with any witches. But I stay south of the mountain. So what I'm usually dealing with, like I said, is gnolls out there. Like I said, there's these ogre hunters that I ran into once.
The orcs?
No, it's more, it seems this is gnoll territory. That's, you're really running into a heavy population of gnolls more than any other. You might run across an occasional goblin or something, but they're out of place.
What are the stories? Have you heard any stories about what's in White Plum?
Now, as far as I know, it's abandoned. I mean, I've heard stories, seen stuff crawling outside. I've never gotten that close to it, just because of all the sulfuric. I just don't like the smell. Once you get closer to it, just smells. It's hot, humid over there. But I've seen monsters, like I think undead, like ghouls or something, or zombies. On the outskirts of it, seen them kind of wandering around during the, when I've been up early morning or whatever. But I think they go in. I don't know where they go inside, but seen that. So,
well, thank you for your information.
Sure. Anytime. Thanks for the run.
No problem.
What are the so we know what Dar's doing. Erebus is probably Elle. What are you doing?
She's got the bar.
Okay.
She's listening to whatever.
All right. Yeah. So the
That's again.
yeah, the bartender. He seems to be a kind of strapping lad himself, probably in his 30s. What you can tell from him, he looks like he's probably been in some fights of past. You might see a scar on his arm, but he also seems to move pretty well behind the bar, and he seems pretty quick. He's not. He's well built in the sense he doesn't look like he's out of shape. Like some retired police officer running a bar or something. He looks in fairly good shape for his age and his size. You think, yeah, he could probably handle a sword pretty well if he needed to. In fact, if you take a look around Zazriel and Erebus and El and Kit and even Ambra, you take a look around. Even right now, it's midday, so there's not that many patrons in here. Probably 10 people other than yourselves, but probably about half of them are armed, either with a sword on their side or an axe on their side, maybe a crossbow leaned up against a table or a bow on the back wall. And a lot of them look very hardy. A lot of them are probably leather armors. Maybe you see one person in a chain shirt, but then once again they have furs on them. And yeah, this group looks like a lot of them that can handle themselves in a fight if necessary. So
they seem to take great notice of our entry.
Yeah, I mean, you see, they all took a look at, when you come in, and just like anybody entering any establishment, usually you're going to get the looks, people looking at you. The biggest looks, of course, are going to be at your two Dragonborn. Those are going to be the ones kind of looking at them the most. But they really kind of don't pay that mind to you after a little bit of watching you guys and seeing Ambra kind of arm wrestle with one of their own and seeing how easily he got beat. They kind of seem to go back to their drinks and talking amongst themselves and having conversations. You don't really see any of them staring at you or giving you guys any ill will looks. They seem to be kind of welcoming.
Right. Yeah, she'll see if you're, ordering some wine for herself, but also some hard liquor. And then she'll go find out where Erebus is hiding.
Yeah, I would think Erebus might be I'm assuming Erebus, you're just cloaked and probably right next to Elle and Kit here.
Yeah, I'm gonna be within earshot of Zaz. Make sure that goes okay.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not that. Yeah, you definitely at the bar. If you guys are listening, you can definitely hear the conversation.
I just look like a normal human to people.
As Azriel's getting her groove on, she's flirting with the bar. Trying to get lucky.
To be clear, is this an inn, Bill?
Yes. Yep. It's a tavern inn. It definitely has this place has 3 levels, actually. It's the tallest building here in the Palisade.
We'll see if we can get rooms.
Absolutely. He'll ask, do you want a private room or do you want, because he looks at you guys and, I mean, he can tell that you probably are together, and he says, you want just one big common room for all of you to be together?
Yeah, that'd be good.
I'll take a private room.
Okay, so he'll say it's for one room, and if you want to lock on the door, it'd be 1 gold piece for a big common room for all of you, and then for you, if you want your own private room.
Maybe 3 rooms then.
Okay.
We'll put the stinky people in 1 room.
Wait, how much does a private room cost? That's the thing. How much does a private room cost?
Alright, so it would be
You're getting a private room, you better handle some doors.
if you want locks on the doors, it's 1 gold piece per room.
1 gold.
Yeah, 1 gold piece per room.
Can I get one with a window?
How much is it for a lock that works?
He looks rather insulted at you when you say that and says, these locks work. Trust me.
Okay, good.
So,
I have a feeling that you'll stick the 2 dragonborns in the same room.
After I finish my
So you
glass
want
of
to see what
wine,
happens?
I'm gonna go rest for a couple hours till
I
it
call the
hits
first egg.
nighttime.
Dan, no.
Why can't you have the first thing?
Then once it gets around,
Right, you said it right as it's gonna eat a Dorito.
Which came first, the dragon or the egg?
I'm gonna go rest for a couple hours,
all right.
and then when I'm
I
around
lost
like
my
8 or
appetite.
9, I want to get up. And
Well, let's see
is
what
there a
happens.
balcony like to look down on the inn?
Get out.
I want to observe for a little
Okay,
bit.
speak up so they
I want to observe for a little bit, and then as they're asleep, I want to look for the douchiest guy in the bar.
So what your plan is to come down like at midnight or something?
Yeah, like when they're pretty much wasted. Yep.
Okay.
Well,
It's the best time to get yourself a date for the night once they're wasted.
I'm gonna stick with Zaz unless she's trying to dodge me here.
No, you're fine for now.
She doesn't mind if you watch.
All right. So what are the rest of you doing for the evening? Anything else? I mean, there's Zaz and Erebus seem to turn in early.
well,
What do you do, Ambra, for the evening?
I pass out cold. I'm
All
not
right,
cold.
So you go to the room and just go to bed and wait till the morning?
Yeah.
All right. Kit, what are you doing?
Before he goes to the room, I pull out my dagger, I threaten him, you come anywhere near me, you get cut. I curl up in a ball on my bed and I fall asleep.
All right.
And then the druid threatens the paladin.
Yeah, I love it. The druid threatens the paladin. Alright. But he is a paladin of Cordall, so.
Mess with the ladies.
Alright, so
I like it.
so what does El and Dar do?
Go ahead,
Oh, I just keep my ears open, see if other mention happens. So it's, 10:30, 11. Go upstairs,
Okay.
hit the hay.
Alright, and then Dar, after you ride.
Yeah, I'm out riding around and I'm kind of hungry. Is there a place where I can get like a chicken or something?
Yeah, so if you ask like one of the city guards, because you're going around, they're going to tell you the inn is the place to eat, drink, and stay. That's where you're going to want to go.
Alright, so Dar's gonna go get himself a chicken at the bar. They've got it.
Yep. Oh yeah. So yeah, he'll give you a chicken. It'll be like 1 copper piece.
Okay. He'll grab that thing, the chicken, he gets back out to Lucky 2, and he takes Lucky 2 to the stables, and there's a chicken on the way, and he gets there, he's gonna get Lucky 2 all settled down into a nice hay bed, and then he's gonna lay down a blanket and curl up next to Lucky 2 and sleep in the stables with the mule.
All right. No
Getting to know
problem.
my companions.
All right. So later that evening, both Zazriel and Erebus come down, and so what you're just looking for, like the rowdiest, couple rowdy guys or
Yeah.
whatever.
Alright, what's my motivation right now as for the bite?
Yeah, I mean, you wouldn't have any sort of motivation for that.
Alright.
So you don't quite know how it works yet. So you just know it happened to you once, and you just don't know when it will happen to you again. You don't have control.
Sounds good.
So, that you'll either have to learn or just let it happen. But no, nothing yet. So I have to figure out what day we're on and when it'll happen again. But I'll keep track of that.
Try my best to control your word.
But yeah, you see a couple guys. I mean, they're they seem to be rowdy, loud, talking loud, and you're drinking beer. A couple of them together.
Want to go drink, Erebus? All right. Just watch my back. I'll go start drinking with them.
Oh, come on, have a drink with this lady.
Oh, of course.
My name is Tommy. This is my brother Bowens.
My name is Zaz.
Hi, Zaz.
And he is E.
Hi, E. Nice to meet you.
I'm gonna wander off. I'll just stay within range and go sit somewhere.
So kind of be in the shadow somewhere or something like
Yeah,
that.
that's right. I'm just gonna watch her. She can have her fun without me.
First name E, last name C.
How many do you think can outdrink me?
I can outdrink you.
Oh, well,
Tom, this is Tommy. So, blonde-haired, young guy, probably in his late teens.
You buy, I'll drink.
Human. Both of them are human. Both of them are, big, hardy. Look like farmers. But they probably handle themselves pretty well too. So.
You buy, I'll drink.
I buy you. Did you say I'll buy you a drink? Sure. So buy a round of beer for the lady here.
So are you guys hunters?
Well, we do a little hunting. They say we're farmers here. We farm here, but we go out and hunt a little bit. Sure, everybody here hunts or traps that lives here, farms. But yeah, I mean, I'm not that's not why I'm here. I'm not part of the Hunters Guild or whatever. I don't come down here hunting. I don't go hunting gnolls, if that's what you mean. I just go hunting Atlas beasts.
Just farm the sheep?
Yeah, we have some sheep and goats, and then I do hunt though. Go out and hunt some wolves and such.
Sounds with sheep.
What about your brother?
What about
Is
it?
he a farmer too?
Well, of course, he was right with me. What do you think?
So-
He farms, I don't farm. We both farm, we both hunt.
So one of you are braver than the other.
Erebus.
What do you mean braver? What do you?
Wolves? Why do you hunt wolves?
Huh?
Wolves never did anything to you.
We're not. We won't go out hunting wolves. That's the Hunters Guild. You want to talk to somebody who does that stuff? Talk to Pierce over there. Points over to this guy's another human wearing. He's just covered in different furs, and you think he has this battle axe. Rather large, strapping human. And Tommy will go. You want to talk to a gnoll hunter? Go talk to him. Go talk to Pierce.
Okay. Well, thanks for the drink.
You're welcome. Anytime. Come on back later after you talk to him. And
Sure.
we can have fun later if you like.
We'll see.
Okay.
Hi, Pierce.
Alright.
So I've heard you're quite the gnoll hunter around here.
Yes, amongst other things.
Yeah. What else do you hunt?
Anything that moves.
So have you been close to the mountain then?
I've been close enough.
Is there anything big that I should be worried about around there?
Yeah, should be worried about everything.
I don't think about everything. What about giants? You saw
Yeah.
quite a few giants around there.
There's some hill giants around in that area.
More towards the north or on the south side?
They wander around.
Around.
I've killed one myself.
Oh. That is not a feat I have acquired yet.
Be careful. There's one thing. Be careful. Is there's these four brother ogres. They're hunters.
Oh, the
and
ogre hunters. Yeah, I've heard
They
of them.
use bows.
That's strange.
The strangest thing I've ever seen. They're good with them. They're good hunters. They'll pop up on you. your camp or whatever, and you next thing you know you're running or riding as fast as you can to get out of there.
So you said you've seen multiple hill giants.
Well, I've seen them, like I've seen one or two on the mountains. I've killed one, but but it wasn't on the mountain. I've gone near the mountain. The one thing you have to worry about too is just undead wandering around there.
That's nothing. That's nothing.
Well, I'm just letting you know there's undead there, so watch out. There's ghouls, zombies.
Where do you think the undead came from?
I'm assuming they're coming from inside the mountain.
Did they recently just show up, or have they been there for a while?
I've been hunting like 8 years. And as far as I've been here as long as I've been here.
Okay. Well, let's continue to drink and talk.
Sure. You also have to wonder about. I've seen a wyvern too. That's
interesting.
Another thing that I took a shot and took off.
I love fighting dragons and that type.
Well, if you want to fight a dragon, there's some black dragon living in the swamp.
I heard about that one. We might have to venture.
I stay south of the mountain. I don't go north. It's very dangerous in those swamps, from what I told people. The hunters that have gone into those swamps, they don't come back.
That's good to know. Well, thank you for your information. And I'll be on my way. Maybe I'll see you when I return from White Plum.
Well, good luck.
What
are you doing in White Plum? Can they kill the undead there?
Yeah, there's a mighty caster that I'm after.
Charybdis?
Yes.
It's just stories, man. Or woman, I'm sorry. Yes. Those are just stories. I haven't seen no wizard. Somebody out there throwing fireballs or lightning bolts, gas.
Maybe he just doesn't care for adventure anymore and is just sitting in his mountain.
Well, I mean, the stories are that he was here 1,000 years ago or something. So, I mean, how is it? I mean, wizard, sure.
Yeah.
1,000 years. Come on. Really?
Anything's possible.
I guess. Good luck in finding your wizard.
I'll find him.
Alright.
I'll maybe bring you back the wyvern's wings.
Alright.
I'm taking a
if
tooth
you do,
I'm taking one tooth from a wyvern and one.
If you bring back the wings of a wyvern, I'll pay you 400 gold.
Okay, then I'll let you get it, and then I get 100 gold.
No, mighty paladin asking for a lot over here, man.
Really, you have like 5,000 gold pieces. So that's kind of worried.
Let's go. I'll go to Argus. All right, I got enough information for tonight.
I'm not
to
kidding.
bed.
Alright, so you bed on down.
Yep.
Alright, so the next morning.
We'll go to the stables,
Yep.
get the horses,
Yep.
and head off.
Alright, yep, she'll have them all prepared for you, and you guys can all head on out on the horses. So how are you going to head to White Plum Mountain?
North
Just go directly towards it?
North side.
Okay.
Just kidding.
No problem. So,
Well, I'll ask the city guard that we talked to when we first. Is he still at post?
yeah, he'll be there in the morning when you guys are leaving.
Where's the direction of that cave entrance?
He says if you, what you want to do is actually you can take this road to the east here. And there you can go through the ruined village. It's called the Plague Fields. Nothing's there anymore. But it's an old destroyed village. That's I guess the name Plague Fields, I guess. I don't know. It's kind of.
This is how the village makes their money. Go pick up their shit later.
Yeah, exactly. You go in there and die.
And they come and clean up.
That's how they make their money. And if you go directly east from there, what you want to do is there's a river crossing, and there you can cross to the Dead Knoll's eye socket. There's a cave where you can keep your horses, probably safe, and then from there it's just a mile directly to White Plum.
All right.
Probably your best way to get to White Plum, to be honest.
Thank you. After that terrible description of horrifying events, so we will head out east.
And I mean, that village, he says, village was like wiped out 300 years ago, so you won't find any.
There's just a ton of undead there.
We'll head out east.
All right. So yeah, you guys head on out. Probably about midday, or actually probably so you leave in the morning. So probably before lunch, you guys actually arrive, and you see off to the distance as you guys are coming up to what looks like an old village, just battered. It's unkept. I mean, it definitely looks like it's probably hundreds of years old, and that no one has resided in there
Is it
for
big
a
enough
long time.
where it'd be hard to go around? Or is it pretty small.
You could definitely go around
How
the
long would it
village
take a
versus
journey?
going through it. It wouldn't be anything in the sense of time-wise to get to the other
We'll go
side.
around it.
All right.
Oh,
You don't want to go through the playing fields?
No. I'll go through the knoll eye socket, but not the playing fields.
All right. So you guys ride past there. Yeah, it feels a little eerie. Just even going around the outside of it. Whatever happened there must have just been terrible. It just has that kind of feel of death. Ancient death, long forgotten.
Like a tomb of horror.
or Zazriel, the angel of death.
So after that, you guys continue riding, and probably close to nightfall, you'll be able to cross the river, and you will actually see, as you guys are in a sort of kind of light hill area. The one thing is now you notice is once you get to the river here, off the river, there's a little, and you're going to where there's an actual crossing. You can just take the horses, go across, but just a little steam off the water. If you feel down in the water, it's actually warm. And it stinks a little bit. You smell a little sulfur, but you guys can cross it without a problem. It's a quick crossing, probably maybe 100 feet to cross, and it's maybe 6 inches deep water in this part.
After we cross, I want to get down and check for prints. I don't know.
Okay, make survival. Go ahead.
I can help you out there.
16.
So you're probably going to see quite a variety of prints here over. You think you see some horse prints gone over back and forth in this area, but probably like a week old maybe in the sense of horse prints. You'll also see some rather large humanoid you probably think are ogres.
Okay.
And they've probably been here within a day. And then knoll. You see a lot of knoll prints all around this area. And just probably in a sense it's fresh as maybe a couple hours ago.
Are they trackable?
Yeah, if you so choose to, you could probably track either the ogre prints or the knoll prints if you so choose. But it is getting it's getting the dusk time by the time you
Perfect.
guys
That's when I prefer to hunt.
cross the river.
Let's go to the cave.
Okay. So what you do is
Do the ogre prince go towards the cave, or
yeah, even the knoll prince too. That they run off too.
Okay.
The ogre, but the ogre prince, you see that, yeah, definitely. If you follow the ogre prince, yeah, they seem to go in the direction of the cave. As you approach the cave, and they seem to go beyond the cave. But as you approach the cave, the thing is about the hill is as you approach it and you look at it, it almost, in the sense of the mouth of the cave, and then you look at the back end of the cave, it almost looks like a hyena. It has an impression of, if you, in the sense of your ranger eyes, as your imagination takes you, that you go, oh, this kind of looks like a dog or a hyena. And then the mouth of the cave is actually, it looks like the mouth of a hyena.
all right? When we get to the top of peak of the cave, we'll search the ground.
Yeah. So go ahead and give me another survival check.
23. 25.
Okay, perfect. So you think there's probably this morning. There's probably you find some what you think is probably knoll shit in the cave. So you think probably in the last probably this morning there were probably some knolls occupying this cave.
Okay.
But there's nothing. There's no one present now. And the cave's large enough for the group to go in and bring in all the horses. It's a rather large cave. There is no exits or other, you guys search for that, no secret doors or any other tunnels. So it seems to be a one in, one out. It's a rather large opening of the cave, but there's shelter in the sense if it was raining or anything. All the horses are protected, and it's deep
Is there a
enough.
bunch of trees outside?
In this area,
Rocks?
no, it's more just still bushes. There's bushes, a couple of trees, but in the sense of the more of the thick wood and stuff is more a little southeast of from where you guys are located.
Is this just Sans or
All of us.
This is all you guys together.
Are you thinking about staying in this cabin?
Yeah, for the night. Yeah.
No, what's the ground look like outside the cave?
What do you mean? Like, what do you?
Like, is it dirt? Is it rock? Solid rock, dirt?
It's solid. It's a mix of rocks and dirt. It's solid ground.
Right. Well, I mean, I'm saying it's like a solid piece of rock.
No, it's not just all solid rock. So who's got me on? Somebody has me on. Probably's got Twitch up because I'm getting feedback. It's not all solid rock. There's rocks, stones, dirt, but it's not like one just solid rock. In that sense. Yeah, it's mainly earth.
But I have
I'm gonna drop my horse off in the cave, and I'm gonna go follow the ogre tracks.
Okay.
When he's in the cave, I want to take a cantrip, old earth, and I want to take 5 feet out of dirt, put 5 feet behind it, deposit it right behind it, so it's like a little berm with a little 5-foot drop in there. Yeah, I can do that all the way across with the cantrip.
Sure. So before we get too much into the battlement or staging or maybe tracking down these ogres, this is the perfect time for us to stop. And we will start up next week with setting up a barricade here on the dead Nolai hill here, and then chase after these ogre hunters. I guess that's what we're gonna do first. Cool. So we'll sign out for the evening. we will be back next Wednesday, 7:30, and kill these ogres, I'm assuming, first, and then they'll make their way towards White Plum Mountain. So, and then this Saturday at 7 p.m. Central Time, we will be on doing Into the Borderlands by Goodman Games, a reincarnation of Keep of the Borderlands. So we will get that going. It should be a lot of fun. That is also one of my favorite adventures, in sandbox adventure in that sense. So it's kind of cool. Two of my favorite adventures happen to be in Tales from the Yawning Portal. With this one, White Plum Mountain, is one of my favorites. Tomb of Horrors is also one of my favorites because you die in it. And then into the Borderlands, I just as a dungeon master, I love starting up new groups in that. So it'll be fun to tell a variety of, see how long the players want to kind of adventure along in that area. So it'll be cool. If you made it this far, hey, hit that subscribe button or follow button here on Twitch, or a subscribe button if you're watching this later on YouTube. And remember,
Let's go to Be a Geek and I beat him to it.
Pass it on. That's what you should be saying, not beat me to it. All right, I'm cueing you for
say
it.
it's cool to be a geek, pass it on.
Yes, that's it. So we'll see you next week, or maybe Saturday. Have a good night.